call upon stage Dr. Venkatesh Raman to moderate the session. A.K. Somashekhar is currently the Technical Director in NIC Chhattisgarh State Center. He has been involved for the last 19 years in the design, development and implementation of major e-governance projects. He has been recipient of Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Public Administration for his contribution in team. So without any further delay, we would like to call upon Somashekhar to present the presentation.
After PDS in the country today, number one. Number two, the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Dr. Raman Singh, who is a medical doctor, of course belonging to the Indian medicine system, he is called the Chawal Baba in Chhattisgarh. He has been personally driving this scheme. I had the opportunity of going to this place about 2 years back, went around the fair price shops, and what is being done is remarkable. Coming from a place like Chhattisgarh, when you think of Chhattisgarh, you will always come across Naxalite violence, Dantewada, etc. But there is more to Chhattisgarh than Dantewadas. And this is one scheme which has transformed the electoral politics, and the Chhattisgarh government, I think, primarily came back to power because of this rice scheme. Number one. Number two, they have also commenced the process and they have started the process of paying the farmer across the table. The farmers' prices, the remunerative prices of the farmers are paid immediately on delivery of the produce. Number three, the offtake of the fair price shop, offtake of each card holder from each fair price shop is monitored on a daily basis. I don't think you can have a more effective integration of IT, governance and political commitment than the core PDS of Chhattisgarh. Mr. Somashekhar has been doing very well. He has been evolving with this scheme. He has been there from inception, and there is a lot to learn from.
Good morning to all of you. In the next 45 minutes, we'll be talking on fair price shop automation. That see that public distribution system has become a political thing. Every state is offering price at 2 rupees, 1 rupees, etc. But it was infamous for its diversion. And next 45 minutes, I will be talking what was our experience with this involvement of IT in this improvement of PDS. And what are the challenges in the fair price shop automation? See, the name itself is Core PDS Meri Marji. The project Core stands for Centralized Online Real-Time Electronic. It's an abbreviation. It's like same expansion as Core Banking. Of course, we forgot that. And this Meri Marji has been added by our Honorable CM. That Raman Singh has added it to say now it is not at the mercy of the fair price shop. It is the will and wish of the beneficiary. The whole concept of this project designer goes around that concept. We have given a choice to the beneficiary. Now it is not at the mercy of the fair price shop. For a just introduction, Chhattisgarh computerized the whole PDS supply chain in 2007. Some non-IT reforms were done. Some IT supply chain has been computerized. Because of this, transparency, accountability and efficiency have been increased. And what we have done, that supply chain is not part of this presentation, that itself is a big thing. And after that, so the result is that as a result, leakages and diversion have drastically come down. There were two surveys in 2007, one is by Planning Commission, other by Right to Food. Both have revealed that in Chhattisgarh, 96% people are getting their full entertainments. This core period starts at this stage. People are getting their entertainments. There is, if at all there is diversion, there is only 4% diversion. Even then, even they are getting their full entertainments, we found at the fair price shop beneficiaries facing certain problems. And this project is to address those problems. For example, see, one card holder should get 35 kg and it is sure they are getting 35 kg, but still FPS is not open when the beneficiary wants to take a ration. This is the one problem. In the first week of the month, 95% people take the ration, but remaining 5% people who could not take in the first week will never find the fair price shop open whenever they want to take. Second, FPS may declare no stock, even there are stocks. It is at his mercy. Stocks are there. Today he is not interested to give.
My request is kindly expand the abbreviation, fair price shop, because they may not.
Fair price shop is this, generally we call ration shop. PDS stands for public distribution system. See, governments are giving subsidized rice and other food grain, kerosene, etc. at very subsidized prices. In our Chhattisgarh, it is 1 rupee kg. Actually, the economic cost of the rice is 27 rupees, and we give at 1 rupee. And that is through fair price shops, which are 11,700 in Chhattisgarh. And definitely it will be more than total 5 lakh ration shops are there in the whole country.
In Andhra, there are 40,000.
40,000 ration shops. And this particular project is to automate that. Of course, we are only in 4%. Kindly don't, we are not complete 11,700. We are doing now only in 400 fair price shop. We are in the phase of rollout, and the experiences with the 400 fair price shops I like to share with you. The third problem is salesperson does not accord due respect to the beneficiary or sometimes misbehaves. Here one thing is that, see, generally food security is a responsibility of the woman family head in the family. Man does not generally take the responsibility. And 80% of people who go to the ration shop to take subsidized rice are the women. And the person sitting at the fair price shop is generally a man or boy. How he behaves with that woman or girl is a question. Overcharging and underpayment are the most common complaints in the PDS. Okay, 35 kg I am giving, but it never would be 35 kg. It will be the 34.7 kg or 34.5 kg, and the beneficiary cannot argue because he is getting it 1 rupee and he is getting at the CM shop. She is satisfied, and she will take whatever the underpayment she got. Even she knows that she is not getting 35 kg. Benefit and adulteration. Suppose Civil Supplies Corporation may be giving a certain quality of rice to the fair price shop for distribution, but he may adulterate more by adding some conker, etc., and may be giving to the beneficiaries, and beneficiary does not know. He will say from the top, I am getting only this much quality. And finally, beneficiary may need to spend at least a half a day to take commodities because of long queues. Having said these problems, you will also agree, and I will also agree, that no technology or no amount of monitoring can solve the kind of problems I have told. Which technology can solve the boy's looks or bad looks or the girl is impossible. But one thing can solve it. There is a choice to the beneficiary to go to the shop where she likes to go, where she gets a good behavior or good treatment, or where she gets slightly better quality, if at all, and better payment, etc. The simple question, why your colony's provision shop wala shall never ill-treat you? This is a simple question. A fair price shop is identical to a provision shop in our colony. Only they are getting a subsidized price and we are not getting the subsidized price. But we never face this problem because the moment he ill-treats you, the moment he does, you know that he is underpaying, for the next minute you will not be going to that particular provision shop. You will change the shop. Because you have the choice, you are empowered to change the provision shop. And provision shops, all these problems are not there. With the same concept, Port PDS works. We have given today a choice to go to any fair price shop of her liking. If in one fair price shop she is getting 34.7 kg, and suppose his boa, somebody says that no, there I am getting 34.9 kg, slightly better quality and better treatment, people have now choice to go there. It will solve all these problems. Technology helpful to give this empowerment. So what we claim is the convenience that technology has given to a bank account holder to withdraw money from any ATM is being offered to a poor BPL beneficiary in Chhattisgarh through Port PDS. See, the people who actually 15 years back who operated banks after that, you know, you to draw your own salary, you had to wait there hours together in the first week of the month. Today we are not taking even the first, whenever you want, whenever you feel like in the night at 11 p.m. also you go to ATM and you draw the money. The technology has given that convenience, portability of withdrawal of the cash. Similarly, in core PDS using technology, we are giving to the beneficiary portability of entitlements. That is the whole concept of this thing. So objectives are to empower beneficiary. Our primary objective in fair price shop automation is to empower beneficiary and to improve service delivery. If anybody is in the food department, generally our mindset would be like that. PDS means diversion. Whatever you do, only to check the diversion. Diversion can be controlled. There are n number of ways. If you increase transparency, if you use some non-IT reforms like deprivatization of fair price shops. Today in Chhattisgarh, the fair price shops are not being run by private agencies. They have been deprivatized in 2004. Today, 30% are being run by cooperative societies, primary agricultural cooperative societies. 30% are being run by Gaon Panchayats, some urban local bodies, or self-help groups. No single private agency can run a fair price shop in Chhattisgarh. Because of those reforms, we could reduce the diversion up to 95%. It is possible everywhere. Without really automating the fair price shop, we could reduce the diversion. If at all we want to automate the fair price shop, it should be for the improvement of the service, for the empowerment of the beneficiary. Of course, third objective is to reduce diversion. If there is any mechanical authentication, either biometric or smart card authentication, definitely no fake entry, no proxy issue can be recorded. So diversion will automatically be controlled. To weed out bad FPS, to create transparency. How it weeds out bad FPS? It's very. See, now beneficiaries are not going to a fair price shop. All beneficiaries go to a shop where services are good, better quality is available there. So automatically the fair price bad FPS who are not giving good service, who are not paying up to the weight to be given, automatically no beneficiary goes there, they will be weeded out. In Chhattisgarh, within the 3 months of starting the core PDS in Raipur, 18 shops have tendered their resignation. We can't run these fair price shops more. Because nobody is coming to them. Today there are at least in 150 shops in Raipur, at least there are 15 shops who are just on paper they are there and they are not able to do any business. Earlier to this core PDS, taking action about the bad FPS is big issue. If at all food inspector wanted to take, of course he never wants to, he will be a share, most of the people will be the shareholders of that bad thing. If at all a food inspector wants to take, even then it cannot be taken because every fair price shops there will be a godfather of either political or bureaucratic. And simply a phone comes, no, I have to give it. Don't suspend, don't cancel. So now no need to take any action. Automatically they will die their own natural death because no beneficiary goes to that shop. Simply how it works, we have given a point of sale device to every fair price shops. Today it is running in 500 fair price shops. And everywhere there is a point of sale device with 2 smart card readers, 1 fingerprint scanner, 1 thermal printer, 1 small screen, and a GPRS module to connect to the server. It's a SIM, it will accommodate a SIM. The same SIM what we are using in the mobile, through GPRS connectivity, it talks to the server to take the food account balances, etc. We have given a smart ration card to all the beneficiaries who have a ration card. But in this smart card, we didn't keep any biometrics. It's a simple smart ration card. It's like ATM card. ATM card is a magnetic card. This is a smart card. That is the only difference. An application has been developed on the POS device, which looks like this, and he can take either using core PDS card or in Chhattisgarh. लाभान्वितों को स्मार्ट कार्ड से he can use multiple authentications. What all required at ration and say, okay, you are genuine. You may give check to withdraw money. There are n number of alternatives to withdraw money. Similarly, at ration shop also, you have to authenticate you are the genuine beneficiary. Server should say that okay, he is Somsekar, he is entitled for this many kgs of rice. For that, one is smart ration card. Second, we have done, there is a RSB, Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana card already given to every family in Chhattisgarh. We have talked to NIC headquarters, we have put PDS partition in that, and that also can be used as a ration card. Third is, I will tell that we have used a mobile OTP also. So card is inserted, ration card number and the name are displayed. And when you press OK, that ration card number will go to the server. Server gives member details and beneficiary food account balances. that are displayed there. Member who is taking the commodities will be selected, and quantities to be issued will be entered. And again, this transaction will go to the server. Server will update, and success report will come. Then a receipt is generated. That receipt is given to the beneficiary, and cash will be taken, necessary money will be taken, and the commodities will be given. This is how a transaction works. This is a flow chart. Actually, we are sharing one book. In this, if anybody is interested, detailed flow charts have been given. It's being distributed. Now, to authenticate ourselves, a smart ATM card or smart card, they are not only that, you can authenticate in many ways. Mobile is one of the devices which can authenticate. APL ration cards, we have not given any smart ration cards, assuming that almost every APL ration card will be having a mobile. Against that ration card number, we have registered his mobile number. And they can also go to any fair price shop to claim their entertainments. Showing the paper ration card will be entered. The ration card number will go to the server. And server gives food account balances to the device, and a one-time PIN, OTP, a 4-digit random number will be given to the registered mobile number. And fair price shop asks, you must have received an SMS with one number, please share it with me. That number will be entered on the device. Again, server checks whether the sent OTP are same, identical or not. That means the registered mobile number is at the fair price shop. That means genuine beneficiary is at the fair price shop. This is one way of authentication. And as I told you, RSBB cards also can be used as ration cards. And Aadhaar is coming up like anything. It may take some time, but Aadhaar is a biometric authentication. It is 100% foolproof authentication. Because you are authenticated the beneficiary with her biometrics. And today in Chhattisgarh, even 4% Aadhaar coverage is there, that's all. So it may take 1 year or 2 years. But this core PDS is readily scalable to Aadhaar authentication by just seeing the Aadhaar number and putting biometric authentication. Yes, today we are not doing any biometric authentication. So now, the most important, this is what we have done now. But I want to discuss a few risks and challenges in the fair price shop automation, because every state is trying. Andhra Pradesh also has done something, Chandigarh has done, Haryana has done. Every state is trying for this step. This is not a new concept or something like that. Only if there is any innovation, it is a process innovation. We have offered portability, and no other place people have offered portability. Technology is not innovation. Technology is there. For the last 5 years, we have been trying to do this. So, but some risks, I say that while designing the system, if you do proper risk analysis and if you take care of challenges, then you would design for sustainability. I am not talking about business continuity. For sustainability of the system, the greatest risk we discovered when we started designing it, the greatest risk we identified is the greatest risk for the implementation of fair price shop automation is fair price shop himself. The reason being, if you put technology at the fair price shop, he will lose whatever he has been getting as with some illegal means or diversion. He is the most loser if anybody is there. That is those fair price shops who have been diverting. So what I am doing is, you are corrupt and I will check your corruption, you use your mobile device and you will never use it. This is for sure. No, even you give me something to track me, I will not use, even I am honest. Because it's my ego problem. Who are you to monitor? Unless this risk is mitigated, no fair price shop automation can really be sustainable or successful. Because it is easy to spoil technology. It is difficult to use it, but it is easy to spoil. Put some water, nobody knows. After drying, why it is not working. Simple thing. So, the mitigation strategy is portability itself. Again, portability for improvement of service. Portability is the mitigation strategy which is the greatest risk. See what happens generally if you don't give portability of entertainments, beneficiary comes and he will say POS is not working, this technology is not working, our server is down. He will deny the service to the genuine beneficiary. These genuine beneficiaries will go to a local Parshad or Gaon Panchayat president and they will make halla. Rasta Roko and all these things. When an impression comes that because of technology people are not getting their entertainment, immediately there will be a political lesson to stop the technology to issue man. So how portability helps? If I go to a shop, when he says it's not working, genuinely or intentionally, I immediately go to the next fair price shop and take my ration. How many people here says we go to ATM, money cash is not there, or ATM is not working, long queues. We never bother to complain even. We go to the next nearby ATM and draw our money. But if there is no portability of thing, you have to take only from that ATM. If its technology is not working there, definitely there will be problems. So portability is a mitigation strategy. Without portability of entertainments, really, FPS should not be automated using all these biometrics, whatever the technology use it. Without portability, let me tell you at this place also, according to me, it increases inconvenience to the genuine beneficiaries, not the convenience. If you don't offer portability, if you put that machine, it may reduce your diversion for 10 to 20%. But there are 80% genuine beneficiaries who have been getting their entertainments earlier also without this technology. Earlier to this, beneficiary goes to the shop and there are only two reasons that she comes empty-handed. One is shop is closed or stocks are not available. If you put this FairPrice technology there and without portability, you are adding 3 more. A shop is open, stocks are there, but the device is not working. I can't give you, it's a government rule. Shop is open, rice is there, device is working, but the operator who is to operate has gone for a marriage. He'll come after 2 hours. Or everything is there, but you know that tomorrow there was a great power cut and I could not charge this small handheld device. So you are adding more and more reasons for not getting the genuine not getting the her entertainments. So if at all FPS is automated, it should be only with portability. Without portability, kindly don't do it. That is our experience. Yes, in the initial days, there may be a small nexus. People say that there are 10-15 shops here, but if you are not working, they are going to you. So why not we come to an understanding that we'll say that today nobody works. We'll say technology is not working, server is down or some problem is there, we don't operate. Then there is a mitigation strategy again. We have decided to operate a mobile FairPrice shops. Mobile FairPrice shop is nothing but a truck with a Annapurna ATM, we'll call it a point of sale device. Today, the self-help group is shipping 1600 ration cards. Earlier, it's an obligation, only 161 people used to come there. They can take. Now, it is almost 6 times or 7 times more than what is that. So, good people will get more commission. So, there will be automatically market forces and competition will start working to improve the service. Having said that, the third is competition does not help if everyone is bad. If A shop is also giving the same service and if B shop is also giving the same service, why should I go to B by leaving here by traveling a kilometer? So these FairPrice shops have been operating for the last 30-40 years in one way. Today competition is there, it doesn't mean that they will start improving the service. So there should be some benchmarks. Of course, it is in the process of implementation and we are introducing good performance, NGOs, corporates and the CSR to open a FairPrice shop. But we don't link any ration card to you. You are authorized to open a FairPrice service. Everybody gives only 35 kg. Okay, underpayment and adulteration will not be there. But still, some service improvement really does not cost anything. If the salesman smiles at the beneficiary, that is more than this thing. What provision shop wala gives us, he smiles and offers his seat to make you wait for 1 hour. He will be doing other things. You are happy to sit there because he has smiled and attracted you. But today, no FairPrice shop smiles at because he is so empowered. They have to come here only. If portability is offered, that smiling makes things. People start smiling because it is the zero cost service improvement. And putting a pot of cold water in the summer for drinking is sufficient for attracting people. So these small such things can be improved. Okay. Risk 4 is connectivity is either not available or speed is not strong. Because as I told you, it is a fully connected system. So there is always a doubt that connectivity is not there. Urban areas okay, or in rural areas where is the connectivity? But let me tell you honestly, connectivity is more than our perception. Our perception is there is no connectivity. But connectivity is more than our perception. We did a survey, connectivity survey. Out of 10,000 FairPrice shops, we have covered 8,000 FairPrice shops by simply going there, running a mobile application there to capture latitude and longitude. We found 5 minutes. Okay. 7,200 shops have connectivity. So because we have done some risk analysis, in the risk analysis and challenges, before I end, because saying 5 minutes, I will talk about 5 to 10 minutes. Thoughts, I have already discussed that FPS automation without portability creates inconvenience to the genuine beneficiary. Second, we are not doing now biometric authentication. If biometric authentication we are not doing because it adds inconvenience to the people. With a smart ration card that can, if at all we do biometric authentication tomorrow by either Aadhaar authentication or something authentication, there will be three. We should always think of three things. There should be a waiver of facility. Because at least 10% beneficiaries are like that, who are old, who can't come to the fair price shop to give you biometric authentication. So there should be an option given to a food inspector, a food officer or a collector to waive of, okay, this particular ration card is physically handicapped or old, they can't come, so no biometric authentication is required. Whoever produces the smart card should be given. Second, we are giving a concept of friend families. Today in Chhattisgarh, what is happening? Generally observation in Andhra Pradesh is correct, no, because I told you that it takes 3 to 4 hours to get the ration. So no, and every family does not waste their time. What 2 or 3 people will come with the ration cards to a shop, and all the 3 people's ration is taken and given to their this thing. But biometric authentication is introduced, that would not be possible. Every member should come to one of the family members should come to the shop. People say, out of 5, anyone can come. Any family member, why can't they come? So let me tell you one thing, sir. If so, let us suppose in the villages, in a poor families, at least if there are 5 persons, husband will never take food security. He never goes to the ration shop. He should be bribed with 50 rupees for I don't know. And children, if you say, if a boy crosses 13 years, enters teenager, he never listens to mother's words unless again he is bribed for 10 rupees or 15 rupees for chocolates or something like that. If a girl with 13 years, 14 years are there, she will definitely help her mother. But unfortunately, in this community, at the age of 14, most of the girls are married. And they are became women family, head of another family, with another ration card, and another food security, for securing food of another family at the age of 15 years. So only left is only women family head who is responsible for taking this ration. So kindly don't say that any friend. So what I am saying, if biometric authentication is to be introduced, we will introduce a concept of friend families. A family first time with her biometric authentication can add 2 more families or 3 more families as their friends, as you are adding third party in your net banking. If with my smart ration card, my friend comes to you with their biometric authentication, with my smart card, you can give my ration. That is concept of friend families. So technology should be used to solve social issues, not only to solve that. Third is another problem with biometric authentication is false rejection rate, FRR. People, the best of best, Aadhaar says that if you use best finger, 2 fingers and all these things, there will be 95% or something like that. Still there are 5% people who are genuine, put their finger and system says that you are not genuine person, you are not the right person. And it is more in case of poor families, but their hands are not as clean. And they can't be because they are working with the hand, construction workers and all these things. So what we are proposing, if suppose a person is there and if say that biometric authentication not over, FPS has an option. Any other genuine beneficiary can certify, okay, he is a genuine beneficiary and give it. It may attract some fraud, risk of some fraud, but still to serve the genuine beneficiary, we are accepting it. We will see exception report. How many people are being served like this? Suppose every fair price shop is serving 3-4 people like this, and one fair price shop is serving 50 people. That means that is a black code. You have to field verify. That's all. So don't deny the service to the beneficiary. Take the report and catch the black code. What we generally do, because there is a 1% possibility of fraud, we will not allow the other 99% genuine beneficiaries with that service. That's why. See, I think you must today. Rarely go to the bank, but there are teller counters. Without even signing your, verifying your signature, they give you 10,000 rupees. There is always a chance of fraud because they are taking that risk to serve 99 beneficiaries, 99% beneficiaries at a speed. That's all. There is always a 0.01% fraud cases there will be. But the same concept because they value customer service. And unfortunately in government schemes, we don't see these beneficiaries as our customers. A beneficiary put biometric authentication, put smarter, everything, so that 0.001% fraud can be eliminated by creating inconvenience to this 99.99% this thing. Okay, this is in rural areas also the output is like this. So we have saved some grind, and 20% of people are using their portability right. And to end with one slide, see, 20% people today are changing their shops, but 80% people are not changing, they are going to their own shop. But now with their choice, not with the compulsion. Dr. Amar Sen, the Nobel laureate, says that a person produces the same commodities in the same way and ends up with the same income and buys the same goods. She may still have very good reason to prefer the scenario of free choice over that of sufficient water. Even if I offer tea and you say that you must drink this tea, don't enjoy it. If you choose the tea and take it, the tea, choice is important. This is the concept of this. Thank you, sir. And we actually.
Process and to rightly earn the title of Chawal Bhavan. So now they have about 10 minutes time to discuss. Anybody wants to ask any clarification or ask questions? Mike, please.
Sir.
Sir, thank you very much for the very nice presentation that you gave. I would like to ask you one simple question. On what platform this has been developed? I want to know the front end as well as back end, technology part.
Technology.
Yeah.
So in technology, all the server-side web services are in .NET technology. We have been using only Microsoft platform from the very beginning. Supply chain is awesome. But in the POS devices, it is Linux and C++. One
Open
is
source.
C++ and another one is
Open source.
open source. But you see, it cannot be called open source because almost they run, all these handheld devices are not, there are no standards.
Okay.
That software cannot be ported to other devices. You have to develop for every handheld device. But now we are coming with the Java application and the Android application.
But backend is Oracle?
Right, it's Microsoft, MS SQL Server.
SQL servers. Okay, fine. Can it hold all the database?
Yeah. It's fucking
Because
very fine.
now, of course, you say that you are having some 1,600 shops or
Now 500 shops.
500 shops are connected, but you will have to add more number of
11,700 shops are there. We can see.
and multiply that by an average of 6 or 7 members. So you have to capture the biometric and other
We
details.
are not capturing biometrics. We'll be. Yeah. Today, 4,187 people. 4,187 people today from the morning have taken. Now it is only 10:30 or something like that. Within the 1.5 hours time, 4,000 people have been served. Within these 500 shops. When it is in 10,000 shops, it will be per minute 1,000 transactions that we are doing. We have to do some load balances. Here you see, this is the figure if you are seeing here. In this month, today is 8th, 20 month, 2 lakh. It is 2,12,000 people have taken in this month, in these 8 days. And total more than 50 lakh transactions have taken place there. Still it is sufficient. It is the real time, sir. You will be changing, it will be changing here. You must have noticed that 4,205. Yeah, it's 2.4 crore is the population. Almost we have about 70 lakh families as per census. But we have, Chhattisgarh government has come out with this CG Food Security Act, where every woman is the family ration card holder now, not the man. And every widow and old woman, there are so many criteria. So now in our payments are not dependent on the number of family members. Even you are the
Sir, good morning, sir. This is Raj Kishore from CSC SPV. This is regarding the biometric failures. As you said, some people are unable to give their biometrics. So, how you are handling the exceptions in the failure situation where biometric transaction did not happen? Yes.
It's very good this thing, sir. Please. Whatever you say, at the last you have to go to the L1, sir. So we are getting the cheapest model available in that basic. We can give the configuration, but in that configuration there is the cheapest model for 15,000 rupees we have been getting. So we are not doing any government procurement of POS devices. What we are saying is people can come, develop the software according to the NIC specifications. We will certify that these are the 5-6 devices, sir, plus desktop, laptop, and Android tablet. 7-8 devices will be there, and fair price shop will be asked from January 1st. You have to operate core PDS, so you can purchase any of this model. You do operations. Then for every transaction, for every beneficiary you are serving, we are giving an incentive of 3 rupees. This is the proposal, sir. It will be accepted. Then again here market forces will start working. People, there will be competition to go to the fair price shop to say this is my device. And 1 year we are giving it. Within 1 year they will get their full investment back. They have to spend about 50,000 rupees with average number of ration cards, sir. Within 1 year they will get back 50,000 rupees. If they can serve more, it will be within 6 months they can make it, sir. This model will work.
Can I request you to make an exposition of the margin which have been enhanced?
See, actually there are some non-IT reforms and IT reforms. I could not accommodate in this particular presentation. First, I told you that we have deprivatized. There is no private agency, so that the people have 2 accountability systems. Second, at that time in 2007, it was 8 rupees per quintal. Now it is 45 rupees per quintal they are getting, plus 2 gunny bags. And we are proposing another 10 rupees for 4 PDS. So if they serve.
I just would like to ask one question. See, multiple transactions within the same month, staggering of the purchases are allowed.
Multiple transactions are allowed. They can go for rice one shop, another 10 kg rice to another shop. It is allowed, sir. Another interesting side effect we got it, side benefit we say, we didn't expect it. Earlier to this core PDS, sir, it was assumed that 3 to 4 trips we had to make to get all the 5 commodities. Rice will be given in the first week, then wheat, then kerosene on the other day, salt some other day, sugar, because it's at the mercy of the fair price shop actually. Now, in the first month, it was about 2.2 average trips. Now it is 1.4. People are getting all their commodities in 1.4 average trips. That 1.4 also, people say because kerosene they don't like to take with the rice. For kerosene, even you offer now, they don't take you, they will come later. That's why it is 1.4. Otherwise, it will be 1, sir. That will be greatest side benefit. We never expected that, but it automatically, because it's a service, will be improved like anything. And one case I have seen that there are 3 shops in Raipur nearby, and one person from the shop is standing outside and inviting the people, come to my shop, as you observe in Davas at the railway station. So that in the 40 years of history, they would have never expected that this type of stays will come, that I should invite my own beneficiaries to the fair shop. Whatever he could achieve.
Second question, probably the brief one, is that you told that there are multiple ration cards within the same family legally. Are there any studies to show there is no recycling either within or outside the family?
Yeah, sir. First thing is today, because we have implemented 3 months back, for the last 6 months only for the Food Security Act. It is from the 50 lakh, it has increased our ration cards to 70 lakhs, 20 lakhs more. And out of the record, I am saying there is a recycling after you get it, because when people get 3 cards in a family and they are getting 105 kilograms of the rice, and nobody eats 105 kilograms, 60 kg, 54 kg is sufficient as per planning commission. Remaining 40 kg they are selling to get, because women is selling, we can expect that they will get oil or something like that. Man sells, that's a very big, it goes for another purpose, but there is. Second is, for APL beneficiaries earlier, Earlier, when I say this 94% people are getting it, for APL beneficiary, there is really diversion. Actually, I also had my own ration card. I never took that, and naturally, that person must have diverted it. And after introduction of this thing, we have given a mobile, we started giving SMS to the people who have taken that. So my colleague is there, Mr. Manish Kochar, he started receiving, he have taken 50 kg, 15 kg rice, etc. One day he went to the shop and said, I never took it, but I messaged him. Hare sir, he was saying, Hare sir, there is a good quality of rice had come, I have kept aside for you, you can now take now. This is how.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
No, but I think you have to address this issue which has been raised by this, because 20 lakh cards being taken and then 20 to 35, whatever
Actually, sir,
it's going to be a major problem, it's going to be a drain on the extent.
That's correct, sir. This drain in the exchequer is to 25% of the budget of the state is being consumed by the food department. If political people say that you should give it, you should give to the actual beneficiary, not to the fair price shop or something like that. That is my idea. But still, sir, I am not saying that all the 20 lakh ration cards are not genuine. I am sure that there will be at least 5 lakh such type of cards which are not required, can be eliminated. Now, after Lok Sabha elections, there will be a drive and it will again come down. So, before elections, that part we
How do you plan to, given the legal, but what you are saying, the recycling thing, are you having some kind of a mechanism where you are trying to plug
After the elections.
So it's only that can be done. We never imagine also, in the act says that only married persons will get it. If even a 50-year man, if he is not married, he is not going to get that. Act says let's not discuss on that because making acts are different. Now people started, 15-year girls, 16-year girls started marrying to get the ration. They married because if they marry, they get a ration card. Otherwise, they don't get a ration. They should be part of another family. So they married. There were cases of marrying because of ration card. And one more thing I want to share with you in Chhattisgarh, there is a ration card is generally mortgaged. It's very good. People get 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, or 5 to 5,000 rupees. If they have any health problem, simply they go to the shop and they will get 2,000, 3,000 rupees. And till they give that money, that ration will be taken by that particular person.
It's an asset.
Because it is being mortgaged, you may see it as a bad view, but I see it has some value. In Bihar, maybe with ration card, nobody accepts it because with the ration card, nobody may. There is even 2004 Chhattisgarh ration card was not an asset. Because when you are not getting the ration, nobody sees that asset. You are accepting it because they are getting 35 kg that ration card. But of course, that is also a problem to solve. But because that mortgage is done 0.01%, let us not put biometrics to stop that mortgage and all this. This is our.
Thank you, Dr. Somsekhar. Mr. Somsekhar. Dr. Shah will come a little later. We now have the presentation by Saurav Gupta. I request the SIPs to introduce him.